Welcome back to Q-Dads, guys. It's me, Ben, and yes, I've finally been let out of the dark editing room and I've been given permission to do something a little bit different for you today. And I'm breaking away from the usual sci-fi fantasy show that me and Steve cover. And I'm going to give you a little bit of Jake Gyllenhaal in the latest thriller that is Presumed Innocent. The series follows Rusty, who is a lawyer being framed for the murder of the Deputy District Attorney, Caroline Polymus. Now, the show for me, I actually really enjoy that kind of slow, tension-building series. And Apple actually does deliver in Presumed Innocent. Obviously, it does give us a lot of questions and a lot of theories. Now, I'm not touching on the Harrison Ford film from the 1990s at all. I'm purely doing this from the TV series perspective only. So yes, I am going to theorise, even though we probably know how it ends. But listen, don't spoil it for me. So if you are looking for similarities between the movie and the TV show, you are in the wrong place. But of course, stay for my theories. So I'm going to start things off a little bit different this time and dive straight into the show, following on from episodes 1 and 2, where Rusty gets a text message saying, "You were there, I saw you." And if, of course, like me, you're asking yourself, who sent that text message? Well, let's find out. Suspect number 1, Tommy Molto. That's right, the hack, as Rusty mentioned to him. Tommy, of course, naturally has taken Rusty's career. So, he's going to be suspect number 1, as it appears. From the moment of episode 1, he actually knew a lot of the details of Rusty and Caroline's relationship straight away and kind of hinted like he knew more. It's almost like he wanted Rusty to suffer, which for me does make him suspect number 1. He seems guilty, something about him, it's his long hair, I don't know. Suspect number 2 is Caroline's ex-husband, Dalton. Now, we saw him in the first episode, and to me, he seemed to hint a lot towards Rusty knowing Caroline, saying things like, "I knew you were quite close." Almost like he was looming onto some kind of secret about their affair. So, does this make him a suspect? I mean, it is easy for him to get revenge. Is Rusty the reason why they actually broke up and got divorced in the first place? They did say that she was committed to her work, or Rusty. So for me, he might be a keen candidate just purely on a revenge element. Now, suspect number 3, of course, is none other than Liam Reynolds, who in fact did kill Bunny Davis in the exact same style Caroline was killed, and an almost identical case. Now yes, of course, he was in jail, so probably didn't commit the crime himself, but could he have orchestrated the crime through his contacts in the outside world? Which is why maybe certain details between Bunny and Caroline's wounds were actually different. Caroline died from blunt force trauma, where Bunny was the stab wound. Is this because the message was never relayed correctly to this other person? And obviously, Liam never forgets a face, or does not want to get effed over, as he put it. And Caroline and Rusty were responsible for the sentencing. So actually, this does put him high on the list of suspects. It was mentioned that there was actually another set of DNA at the scene of the crime for the case of Bunny Davis, presuming that someone else was involved. Yes, you could just say that this was a random person who was helping Liam with the murder of Bunny, and potentially could be that same person who had an involvement with Caroline's death. But actually, could this also be the DNA of Rusty himself? And yes, I know it's a bit of a rogue theory, but that's what we do here at Q-Dads, rogue theories. And more than likely, Liam and Rusty probably weren't working together, but stranger things have happened. Now, before I give you my overall thoughts on the show, I do just want to touch on the last suspect, suspect number 4, and it is a bit of a controversial one, and that is Caroline's son. Now, yes, Rusty didn't allude to knowing him, or even knowing that he actually existed, but he potentially could have been there during some of the meetings that they had, which is why, when that text came through saying, "I know you were there," was this actually Caroline's son? Because in fact he was there. Does he know something secretly? Is he doing this just for comfort, boredom, or is it some kind of revenge about his absent father? And I mean that because Jake Gyllenhaal does look a lot like Michael in this show. But he probably could be doing it for some kind of revenge, believing that Rusty actually did kill Caroline. Which, of course, brings me on to my next point. The title of the show is Presumed Innocent. Now, I emphasise the word presumed. So for me, I am presuming that Rusty is innocent, but in fact, did he actually commit the crime himself? Now, he was seen at the start of episode 2 cleaning down his fingerprint, and he has had some rather intrusive thoughts during his swimming session, and he seems to hide a lot of details and he's reluctant to kind of share information. So actually, did he kill Caroline? And is he trying to frame it on Liam Reynolds? Or even worse, make it out that Tommy is the real culprit and they're using the previous case of Bunny Davis to actually frame Rusty in some weird, twisted kind of way. Moving on, the details in this show were brilliant. The visuals were absolutely stunning, and it was great to see that conflict that Rusty had between seeing his life with Caroline and his life with his own wife. How the two worlds kind of merged together at points. We could see that mental battle that he was facing. We started the show with a very much reserved, family, caring kind of guy, and we saw it through the quick pace of the episode that actually by the end of it, he was torn with his own tormented mind, moved all the way through from a guy just having an affair to a full-blown stalker who potentially could have killed Caroline and potentially Bunny too. Now, one of the key details for me that I actually did enjoy, found fascinating about the show, of course, the visuals and the torment between Rusty's mind that was portrayed on screen was brilliant, but also the emotion throughout a wide range of characters, the anger that the lawyers had, the frustration around Rusty not being able to shake those thoughts from his mind, and even the kids themselves when they were finding out about their dad having an affair. The emotion in these children was portrayed brilliantly, and the acting overall I thought was phenomenal. So Apple, well done for the casting on. Now, overall, the 2 episodes were really good. And like I say, I enjoy this kind of slow-paced, gripping drama series, which is why I'm covering it and not Steve. But of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments. No, who do you think sent that text message? And of course, do you think Rusty is actually innocent? Now again, if you have seen the movie, please don't spoil it on here. Just let us know your thoughts based on the TV show alone. I am potentially going to cover the rest of the episodes in this series and do a weekly breakdown for you. But of course, let me know in the comments if that is something that you're actually interested in. I can potentially break them down a little bit more in detail for you as well. But if not, I'm going to go and enjoy this series anyway and happily bring you an ending explained in a few weeks' time, whilst we focus on other things like House of the Dragon and the rest of Dark Matter. Anyway, thanks for watching guys, it's always a pleasure, and I'll catch you next time with something new.